When an Italian says mi sto perdendo in un bicchiere d'acqua, which means I'm getting lost in a glass of water, they're saying that they're overthinking. Even Italians can sometimes realize they're taking too long over something, obsessing over a detail, but they often also produce stunning levels of excellence. What if getting the details right isn't a distraction, but the whole point? Welcome to this final episode of this special series on Precisione, part of my series, The 5 Things People Never Tell You About Working with Italians. I'm Eleanor, and throughout this series we've been exploring Precisione, the Italian art of getting things exactly right. Today's episode is about the precision of small things, the tiles, the seasonal wardrobes, the stuff other cultures rush past but Italians do properly. For Italians, nothing is just a detail. Italians honour the small stuff. You can tell a lot about a culture from its supermarkets. In the UK or the US, you'll find several aisles devoted to sweets, snacks and breakfast cereals. Bright, colourful, endless choice. In Italy, you'll find several aisles devoted to cleaning products. Bright, colourful, endless choice. Different detergents for the bathroom and the kitchen, specialised to kill the different bathroom and kitchen bacteria with different cleaning cloths, obviously. Different products for glass, stainless steel, marble, wooden and tiled services. They are not interchangeable because cleaning, like everything else, must be done properly, in the right way, with the right tools, for the right space. It's not just cleanliness, it's precisione in a spray bottle. And if you learn to appreciate this, it might just change the way you see Italian life and work forever. You see it in the meticulous and obsessive attention to detail in Italian design, engineering, art, architecture, manufacturing, cuisine. And speaking of engineering, let's talk about Fiat. When I was growing up, people loved to make jokes about Fiat. They had a reputation for being small, unreliable, and frankly not very serious cars. But the reality is very different, especially when you look closer. The humble Fiat Panda four-wheel drive, for example, has turned out to be one of the most resilient low-cost vehicles ever built. Farmers use them, mountain villagers swear by them, mechanics love them because they just keep going. In fact, used Fiat Pandas, especially the models from 20 plus years ago, are sometimes worth more today than new ones. This is another example of the Precisione mindset, craftsmanship scaled down to create something reliable, clever, perfectly adapted to its environment. Forget the jokes. In Italy, a small car can have just as much soul and just as much precisione as a Ferrari. A Fiat Panda isn't flashy, but when you're halfway up a goat track in winter, you'll be glad it's not. Here's another way of understanding the Italian value of precisione. In many cultures, efficiency and getting things done is king. Done is better than perfect. Let's fix it later. Good enough for now. But to Italians, especially in the worlds of design, craftsmanship and even business, this can feel shocking. Not because Italians are inflexible, they're remarkably adaptable when it matters, but because quality is not negotiable. When I had my bathroom renovated, my Italian ex took charge of the process like it was a small architectural project. He insisted we visit at least 10 different showrooms to choose the fittings, the toilet seat, the bidet, the taps, the showerhead, the mirror, the cabinet, 3 kinds of tile. These were things I'd never given a second's thought to in my life. In the UK, I'd have been happy choosing the bathroom pack from a single page in a hardware store brochure. Done in 20 minutes. I'd say, for heaven's sake, it's just a toilet. Who's going to look at it? But no, each element required debate and deliberation. And the deliberations began at the end of a long working day when all I wanted was a cup of tea. And then, after we'd selected all the materials, my ex made a paper mock-up of the entire bathroom. He took images of every single fitting we'd chosen, arranged them in a Word document to visualize the tiles and layout, printed it all out and glued it into a 3D paper model of the actual room. And just when I thought we were done, after the builders had tiled the entire wall around the bathtub, he changed his mind about the pattern and made them do it again. In Britain, we renovate for function. In Italy, you renovate like you're designing a private spa for the Medici. And if you're working with Italian teams or contractors and you feel like the project keeps stretching, this is why. You're not facing indecision, you're witnessing craftsmanship. In some cultures, good enough is good enough. In Italy, good enough is simply not good. And by the way, my bathroom looks amazing. And one final example. Sometimes Precisione shows up in quiet displays of principle. You can even see Precisione in Italian rubbish. Milan, like much of Lombardy, has been quietly leading Europe in household waste management for years. The city separates over 60% of its waste, including more than 130,000 tons of organic waste each year, and the contamination rate is impressively low. But it's not just about sorting, it's about what happens next. In Brescia, waste is converted into energy with over 98% efficiency, powering thousands of homes and slashing carbon emissions. Milan's own Sila 2 plant transforms what would be landfill into heat and electricity for the city. In this part of Italy, even rubbish gets done properly. This is Precisione as environmental principle, careful sorting, purposeful systems, nothing wasted. It's not glamorous, but it's exact, responsible, local, and efficient, because in Italy, even your leftovers deserve dignity. So what are the takeaways? Precisione isn't about rigidity, it's about showing respect even in life's smallest choices. In Italy, details aren't incidental, they're essential. When you understand this, you stop fighting the friction and start seeing the beauty in it. I help people move from frustration to fluency, not in language, but in mindset. Because once you understand why Italians do things this way, you stop resisting and start thriving. If this series resonated with you, if you've recognized the challenges and want to move through them with clarity, humor, and confidence, let's talk. I work with professionals, leaders, and teams who want to thrive across cultures, not just survive them. Message me or head to my profile to learn more. Ciao for now, and grazie.